चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So today we have come to this point where Mahaprabhu is going to explain the Atmaram verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from the 15th chapter of the book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. The Lord then went on to point out that there are 11 words in the Atmaram verse. First is Atma Ramaha. Second, Cha. Third is Munayah. Fourth, Nirgranthaha. 5, Api. 6, Urukrame. 7, Purvanti. 8, Ahaitukim. 9, Bhaktim. 10th, Ikham Bhuta Gunaha. And 11th is Harihi. The Lord then began to explain each and every one of these words. This is also a way of understanding. Mahaprabhu is explaining, is showing with his own acharan that how one should study the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, how scrutinizingly we should study. Every word that is written in Bhagavad Gita, every word is chosen very, very precisely, and there is a reason behind each and every word. So that is how scrutinizingly we should try to study Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Lord is himself demonstrating this. As far as the word Atma Ram is concerned, the Lord explained that the word Atma means, first, the supreme absolute truth. Second, the body. Third, the mind. Fourth, Atma also means endeavor, to endeavor for something. Fifth is intelligence. Sixth is conviction. And seventh, nature. The word Aram means enjoyer. Atma Ram. So Aram means enjoyer. Therefore, anyone who takes pleasure in the cultivation of the knowledge of these 7 items is known as an Atmaram. So anybody who takes pleasure in the cultivation of the knowledge about the supreme absolute truth is Atmaram. Later, the Lord would describe the different kinds of Atmarams or transcendentalists. As for the word Munayah or Muni, those who are great thinkers are called Munis. Narad Muni. Then so many Munis. So when we say Muni, they are great thinkers. Sometimes the word Muni is also applied to a person who is very grave. Great sages, great austere persons, great mystics, and learned scholars are called Munis. The next word, Nirgrantha, indicates freedom from the bondage of illusion. Nirgrantha also means one who has no connection with scriptural injunctions. Grantha means the revealed scriptures, and Nir is an affix which is used to mean no connection. So, or constructing, or also prohibiting. So, there are many instructions for spiritual realization, and persons who have no connection with such scriptural injunctions are known as nirgrantha. In the granthas, in the scriptures, in the revealed bona fide scriptures, there are many instructions for spiritual realization. But people who have no interest, no connection, who don't bother to read these scriptures, who don't care about the purpose, who don't understand or who don't bother to follow these instructions, they are also called nirgrantha. And it also indicates freedom from the bondage of illusion. So just the opposite. There are many people who are foolish, low-born, and misbehaved, and who have no entrance into the revealed scriptures and injunctions, and therefore they are called nirgrantha. Because the word grantha can also mean collected riches. Grantha, so also mean collected riches. The word nirgrantha also indicates a poor man who is bereft of all riches, who is attempting to collect the riches. The word urukrama is used to indicate a highly powerful person. Since the word krama is used to indicate the act of stepping, the word urukrama also indicates one who can step forward very far, quickly. So, krama also indicates the act of stepping ahead. And urukrama, so one who is stepping forward very far. The greatest step forward was taken by Lord Vamandev, who covered the whole universe in two steps. In just 2 steps, Lord Vamandev, that is the Supreme Lord Krishna himself, incarnated as Lord Vamandev, and in just 2 steps, he covered the whole universe. Therefore, the highly powerful person. Therefore, Lord is also called Urukrama. Thus, the Supreme Lord Vamandev is also known as Lord Urukrama. This extraordinary feature of Lord Vamandev is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam in Canto 2, 7th chapter, 40 text. Text number 40. Vishnurnuvirya gananam katamo arhatiha yah parvati vanyapi kabir vimame rajamshi चक्षम्भयः स्वरं रम्भसा खलतात् त्रिपृष्ठं यस्मात् त्रिसाम्य सदनाद् उरुकम्पयानम्. No one can estimate the inconceivable potencies of Lord Vishnu. Even if one could count the number of atomic combinations in this material world, is it possible to count the number of atomic combinations in this material world for anybody? It is not possible. Even for the great scientists, it is not possible. Nobody has ever been able to do it. But what is the comparison given? That even if one is able to count the number of atomic combinations in this material world, he still could not count the different energies of the Supreme Lord. As Lord Vamandev, the Lord was so powerful that simply by stepping forward, he covered the whole universe from Brahmalok down to Patal Lok. The inconceivable energies of the Lord are spread throughout the creation. There are not just few energies, there are inconceivable energies of the Lord, and they are spread throughout the creation. He is all pervading, and by his energy, he sustains all planetary systems. So, all the planetary systems, the sun is moving in its orbit, the moon is moving in its orbit, the various planets are moving in their orbits. It is not happening because of some dhamaka, some big bang theory, just because there was some big blast Instead of everything getting destroyed, suddenly everything became perfect. No, that is all foolish philosophy, foolish science, um, fantasies, scientific fantasies, somebody's fantasy. That does not happen just like that. It is not by chance. Nothing is by chance and nothing happens coincidentally. There are no coincidences. Everything is an incident and perfect will and planning of the Lord. When the Lord desires, it is perfect, and whatever Lord does, it is perfect. So he is all pervading, and by his energy he sustains all the planetary systems. Yet, through his pleasure potency, he remains situated in his personal abode, which is known as Goloka. By the expansion of his own opulence, he is present in all the Vaikuntha planets as Lord Narayan. By expanding his material energy, he creates innumerable universes and with innumerable planets within them. So, the Supreme Lord, in the form of Mahavishnu, he expands himself, and then through his expansions, he enters into the different universes. And then he again expands himself and enters into all the atoms of, so he creates various planets and he himself enters into those planets, and he enters into all the atoms. Just by his glancing at the material nature gets agitated and everything comes into, um, gets waken up. Everything that was asleep and that was dormant becomes awake just by glancing of Mahavishnu. And then with all that, with all those ingredients, Lord Brahma then goes ahead and creates. So Lord Brahma is not the first creator. It is Lord Vishnu. He is the Supreme Lord. And after he has given the raw materials to Lord Brahma, then Brahma starts creating. So secondary creation. So that is how the creations happen. So what happens by expanding his material energy, the Lord's material energy, the Lord creates innumerable universes with innumerable planets within them. Thus, no one can estimate the wonderful activities of the Supreme Lord, and therefore the Supreme Lord is known as Urukrama. If we if we try to think why did this happen, what could be the purpose of the Lord, then we'll just get bewildered. We do we have any intelligence that is closer to the Supreme Lord? Then how can we understand what is the plan of the Supreme Lord? Therefore, we should not try to judge why this happened. If the Lord is there, then why this is happening? Why it is happening to the devotees? Many times people get bewildered, but that is the reason is only the lack of proper understanding. Janma karma cha me divyam. Evam yo vikti tatvatah. One who knows my divine activities, my birth, everything about me, such a person will not get bewildered. And at the time of death, such a person can go back to the Lord's abode. So, but many times we get bewildered. So we should understand that it is not possible to understand Lord's um, plan by our limited intelligence, and that too the limited intelligence that we have is full of fault. It is not only limited, but it is also defective. So therefore we should not try to analyze Lord's plan. Sometimes it is not possible to understand, but whatever it is, we should know that it is the mercy of the Lord. He knows what is best for whom, and he is our ever well wisher. If somebody has this faith, then they can cross across all obstacles and all challenges and never get bewildered. Thus, no one can estimate the wonderful activities of the Supreme Lord, and therefore the Supreme Lord is known as Urukrama, the wonderful actor. In the Vishwa Prakash dictionary, the word krama is defined as an expert display of energies, as well as stepping forward very quickly. So still, the other words are still remaining. Krishna willing, we'll see what they mean and what Mahaprabhu explains about those words. Thank you very much. Your very kind association. पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील जय पताका स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
हरी हरी
हरि हरि
बोल
बोल श्री श्यामा करुणामयी माता जी की
हरी
जय।
All
बोल
glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
हरी बोल।